Welcome to today's webinar. Happy to have DevRabbit and MDS Builders here to share a great case study. My name is Ted Ritter. I'm the chair of the IT community of IFMA. I just wanted to share a little bit about what the IT community is doing. If you go to the next slide, please, Gabe. Um, we're one of the oldest components of IFMA, and I think the first counselor community. We really answered one question, which is how does technology support CRE and FM? We love collaborating, sharing best practices, case studies as we are today. And the fun thing is, given how often technology evolves, even though we're answering that one question, we have a lot to talk about. And if we go to the next slide, just wanted to do a little shout out about the importance of councils and communities. Communities are aligned with IFMA's 11 core competencies, and really we're horizontal. The content and thought leadership the communities provide really affect every aspect of the built environment. Councils are aligned by vertical market and are, really a great way if you are, interested or involved with, for example, airport facilities. You want to be able to talk to other people that manage similar types of facilities. So there's 16 councils, a great way to get involved there. And there are 7 communities. If you go to the next slide, please, Gabe. Many thanks to our members. We're one of the most international components of IFMA. We've got over 250 members from over 32 countries and growing. In addition to our core membership and sustaining partners, we have a following of over 5,000 now. If you'd like to, kind of see what we publish, and we do post every week and have a monthly newsletter, go ahead and click on the QR code. A couple of housekeeping things before we do our presenter introductions. Session is being recorded, and yes, we will share a link to the recording as well as a copy of the deck to everyone that attended. And with that, if we go to the next slide, I'm really happy to introduce Ashley and Gabe. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
You want to start first, Ashley?
Oh, sure. Hi, my name is Ashley LaRocca. I am the Regional Vice President for MDS Builders, and I head up our facilities maintenance division.
My name is Gabe Veach. Definitely happy to be here and talking with Ashley. Ashley and I both live in Austin and have a lot of good conversations together about the future and the world we live in today when it comes to facilities management and operating right as efficient as possible. And I'm just excited to be on this TED Talk. I mean, this IT conversation. No, it's a really good, it's going to be a really good conversation, and I think it's very topical when it comes to automating and integrating systems, and it's not a heavy lift. It can be a very easy lift, and excited to go through that today. So Ashley, if you wouldn't mind, maybe give a little bit of background on MDS Builders and your team, and kind of what I wouldn't necessarily call it a unique kind of setup that you have, but the way that you're also construction, and also facilities management. Maybe describe that a little bit.
Sure. So I'll just start with a quick background on MDS. We are a full general contractor. We work nationwide, and we are licensed in over 40 states. We have 3 different offices. We have one in Florida, one in Ohio, and one in Texas. Ohio and Florida do pretty much only general contracting. And out of our Texas office, we do exclusively facilities maintenance. So we do almost 100% commercial work. And really for MDS, we focus on, managing the entire project, the client, and the vendor together. Our other main focus is quality. So it's important that when we are keeping our records, we were making sure that we have everything in one place and easily managed, so that we can have all of that information just at the click of a button. In our facilities group, we have approximately 10 project managers, and each project manager kind of manages a different aspect for us. So one of the issues that we had was really taking information from our client database and putting it in our database. Most of our clients utilize Corrigo, which is an excellent platform. We utilize Dataforma, and so they don't really talk to one another. One of our biggest issues was when the work order would come in from Corrigo, we would have to turn around and type in that information into Dataforma. And while you're looking at that and you think, okay, well, maybe it's not a ton of information, and it's not, right? It only takes 2 to 3 minutes, but when you add that up over, say, 300 work orders, that's a lot of time wasted every month, maybe, between 10 and 12 hours a month that we could be doing other things. And so we really wanted to get around that and not have that roadblock there so that we could spend our time doing other things like managing these projects.
Yeah, you want me to chat about this? So so a little bit of background on DevRabbit. DevRabbit's an IT services company. We're based out of California and Northern California, and we were at a Corrigo Connect conference a few years ago and saw Ashley there, and it was a match made in heaven. I think she was definitely there was a component of her workflows that we just described where it was, painful for manual entries between, each one of the systems. So I like to call it the swivel chair issue, where you're rekeying in and swivel chairing into another system. And MDS was, obviously those operational pain points were top of mind for Ashley, or maybe it was a surprise that she actually met us there. I think it was a little bit more of a surprise. But, we had, as a services company, we had built what I would call accelerator tool at the time to take components from a system like Corrigo and connect them to a system like Dataforma. And it's not built from a custom standpoint. It's actually based off of a platform, a connector tool, if you will, a middleware platform, where we could literally sit with Ashley, understand her workflows, look at the data points on each one of the systems, so literally a screen share, and then how can we build it in a way where it's a set it and forget it, right? You don't have to necessarily worry about if there is something that goes wrong with an API, or if there is a work order field that's missing. It's really there to kind of manage her everyday work without having to manually key in any of those work orders. So there was definitely a connection there, and we're both Austinites, so that's also good. And we were able to kind of very quickly, I would say, Ashley, kind of work together and come up with a solution. So like I kind of said, there's a middleware platform that we support. It's our connector hub. What we allow for in a few steps is, one, taking API information from Corrigo's platform and connecting that to Dataforma's platform and mapping those fields that are critical for Ashley, right? And I think it was just a few conversations, and we really talked about what was necessary, what was not necessary for your workflows, what could actually grow within your workflows, and what was kind of any sort of anomalies, right, or any sort of exceptions or conditions about sending data back from Dataforma to Corrigo. So we really, I would say, spent a few sessions. Our team understood the workflows, and our platform allowed for us to build that on the front end and not have to do a lot of custom work. So we're able to kind of see some, practice workflows come through. Ashley's team confirmed those workflows and those work orders that were coming in and being automated. And essentially, I think, solved a lot of those rekeying in issues. So it was like I said, it's not just Ashley either. We talk to a lot of folks every day, and it may not be Corrigo and Dataforma. It could be any other sort of systems where you're having to rekey in work order data, right? That should be pretty simplified and not too complex. So yeah, but it was, I thought fairly easy process. I don't know, Ashley, if you want to talk a little bit about how things went and where you, kind of felt there was good collaboration, but it'd be great to hear from you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we worked with your development team. It was honestly like a couple of 3 calls where we went through our workflow process, and we looked at the data that came in from the client, and we looked at where we wanted it to go on our side. And we talked through that. And then we did some practice runs, and then we saw, okay, well, it looks like this information on the client side is not matching up with the information that we have in our system. So we needed to kind of tweak some things. But overall, I think the whole process took, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And you guys did most of the work. It took maybe a couple of hours of my time. It was very easy, actually.
Awesome. And that's, I appreciate it. And that's when we talk about these kinds of projects and folks feel a little, overloaded, like, oh, how am I going to do this? I have to hire an IT army. I have to do all these things. We don't look at it that way. We look at it more from a business side, right? We'll do the technology on the platform, but what are the workflows that matter to you? What are the things that need to be automated that's going to save you time, that is going to create less, errors within your systems, and, sending out to invoicing and having to fix all of those things that are down the road, right? And that's what I like to spend our time. That's what those few weeks are for. It's important to understand that and spend a little bit of time. The technology is the technology. It's not going to change, and we just have a simpler way to put it in there. And I think that's a good approach when you talk about these kinds of projects. It's not just, hey, I hope you have someone that can help monitor these things or help, customize this work for you, and you think more tech first. It's actually the exact opposite. It's how is this going to save me time, and how is this going to eliminate errors that I'm seeing today? So, that's what we really talked about mostly. And it's an easy conversation to have, and we'll tweak it, right, with the system. We're not going to have to change things over and over if Ashley has a little question there or a little tweak there within the data side. So,
right.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's the approach that I think, we've missed in this world, if you will, for a while. And it's taking that time to really understand the business flows and how it helps.
I would agree. I was I don't want to say apprehensive because that may be not the right term, but I was nervous about how much of my time this was going to take. We all have IT in our offices, and sometimes they're not the most efficient, and we're working with IT stuff, so we can't do our regular work. And I was kind of nervous about that, but that was not the case here. Again, it was pretty easy on my end. We just walked you guys through how we did things, what we needed to go where, and it was kind of done.
Yeah. No, perfect. Yeah. It was. And kudos to the Corrigo team as well, working with those guys as far as getting their API, them kind of leading us in the right direction. It was great, right? They were very helpful with their Corrigo Pro Direct and Dataforma too. I mean, we had some conversations with them, and I think there was initially some questions, but they understood what we were trying to do, and were very helpful in providing their APIs. And we'll do a little bit of research on the back end once we get those workflows from Ashley, and it just, we kind of have that middleware tweaking, if you will, to make sure that it works between and talks between both systems. So that was really good. Yeah, so I mean, just kind of reiterating those features, once they were set up within a few weeks, the beauty is you get to see it right away. You're not waiting months and months for projects,
Right.
and so the data's real time syncing for you there. There's probably right away you saw less errors. Like I said, offering those customized workflows without having to go and build a back end type of system to do that. It's all, if you will, on the front end. It's a set it and forget it. You're just managing it. You're just looking at it. You're getting reports from us every week saying, yes, I have this many work orders coming in. This is how many have been sent out, right? So from one system to another. And monitoring that. And if there are any alerts or if there is any updates within the APIs, we manage all of those things for you. So it's quickly fixed. You don't have to go to, like you said, an IT person and kind of pull them from what they're doing and go, hey, my work orders aren't coming through. Can you help me with this? It's kind of a big part of my business. So there's that. And then another thing, I was kind of actually thinking about, Ashley, is compliance, right? Is a big SLA turnarounds, right? Being able to, if you automate these systems, there's, to your point, the less keying in and less errors. However, I'm sure you guys have maintenance contracts with a lot of your clients that you got to get these things at least identified and acknowledged within a certain amount of time in SLAs. And compliance is a big thing, right? Making sure that you sit within that. The last thing you want to do is go back to your customer and have to look at a contract and go, sorry, we missed, we didn't get this work order turned around in quick enough time. Maybe that's a good topic to talk about too. But instead of all these other features and all these other things, compliance is a big thing that we're hearing too in the marketplace. So
yeah, I will say compliance for us is huge. Meeting the SLAs. Previously, let's say, we have a very important work order come in and we need to get somebody on it right away. We have to waste time keying it in. We don't have to do that anymore. It's already there. We send out the vendor and it's done.
yeah.
So yeah, the compliance portion, I mean, the time savings, I really can't go into enough how much time we save. And it's not just me looking, from a bottom line perspective. My team of project managers, they love not having to enter in each individual work order. One of the things that happens is on the first of the month, we get like 150 work orders. So before we had this, we would spend an entire day just putting those in the system. But now they're already there. So we've saved all of that time. We don't have to go in and, have our eyes crossed while we're typing this stuff in. And it's there and it's so great. They love it.
Yeah. And the way, and, I think we've talked about this before. You have predictive and reactive work orders because you're under warranty as well, and things have to be done at a certain time. So that flexibility, I think there too, we were able to work through those workflows as well with the Corrigo team, and they were good about helping us, with that, with building that within this API. So, so yeah, brilliant. So yeah, so Ashley, I know that, we kind of talked about obviously what it's helped your company do and improve overall as far as efficiencies. But yeah, these are some, data points, right, that real data, right, that supports the things that you're doing today. So yeah, if you want to chat a little bit about that. I know you have already, but kind of reiterate. Yeah.
Absolutely. So reduction in administrative work, I cannot say enough about this. Just having it already there is it's so easy. But also the decrease in errors. Previously, when we were typing stuff in, obviously we all make mistakes. We typo things all the time. And so in data format, if we typed it in incorrectly, we'd have to go search for it through, 2,000 buildings and however many work orders, and hope that we could find it. And if we couldn't, then we had to put another one in. We don't really have that issue anymore. The most frequent one that I see is like the address that we get from the client doesn't match the address that we have in our system. And so, but it's easy to fix, right? We've identified that as an issue, but it's an issue with the data. So, just knowing that we don't really have to go search for these work orders, but also I will say, from my perspective, this has been really great in letting me identify, where we are struggling as a team, because I'm not having to rely on my team putting in their work orders as they're coming in. They automatically come in. So, I can see, okay, well, we haven't addressed this yet, and we need to because it's been there for, a couple of hours. Or, hey, this one project manager has a lot going on right now. So maybe we need to shift some of these other items to a different team for the time being. I can follow those trends really easily because it's real-time data coming in to our system, which also has been really great.
Yeah, so visibility you never had before, right?
Right.
It just helps, increase that too. As someone who's managing multiple team members, right? You can't talk to them every single day, every single minute.
Right.
The data kind of has to show for itself, and I think it's probably improved psyche a little bit too, maybe with your team as well, right? Like, hey, these are things that when you kind of go to that, I wouldn't call it low level, but you're just rekeying it all the time. It's like, what am I doing? No, I really want to make sure the customer is happy at the end of the day and focus on that. So
right, it's so great to be able to just see that immediately as it's coming in, instead of having to wait for us to put in our work orders, which is really helpful. I'm sorry, I'm dying here.
okay.
It's allergy season, which is really helpful when someone is overwhelmed and I'm trying to help manage their workload. I don't have to wait for them to put it in to realize that they're overwhelmed. It's automatically there, and it's so easy for me to be like, okay, we've got to put this over here because it's not working over here. So,
no, I love it. It's in this, I'll just say, beyond Ashley, and we work with a lot of folks. They just see different things, right? When you get access, when you can connect different systems together, everyone has, everyone's a unicorn, right? And they have their own ways of looking things. There's spreadsheets everywhere. There's dashboards that you're reading that are old. And,
right.
The more systems you connect and the more data that you get together, it's kind of, there's the art of the possible that you really didn't see there. And it's not linear anymore. It's
right.
It's really bringing the teams in, and the teams come with other, your project team probably has now different ideas of how they can improve their service too. So
absolutely,
it's interesting how you can kind of collaborate once things are connected together, I guess. And again, we see this in other areas, different kind of case studies, but it's similar, right? It's always going to be an improvement, and it's a pain point across the industry.
absolutely,
that needs to be fixed, and we're happy to be working with you, Ashley, on these things. I guess that's a good dovetail and kind of the lessons learned and some of the maybe some things. If you were to give advice, right, out to the world here, I thought these were good points, and these are simple bullets, right? I mean, it's not like we're rethinking or trying to overtake the world here. We're just trying to improve our operations. So yeah, advice, for the people out there listening, what would you want to offer them?
I would say don't wait to start implementing your technology and put it to work for you and your team, right? It's not nearly as painful as I thought it was going to be. um, the sooner you can get it started and the sooner you can get it working for you. Um, you know, when you're looking at your organization, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. But a good, integration partner can kind of help you look at this and go, okay, well, we can start here and we can work this way. And yeah, don't wait.
That's great. I mean, if it's us or anyone else, right, out there, I like, that first bullet of knowing your workflows because that's important, right? And what's important? What in workflows are the most important to you, prioritizing that? And one of the things I like to say is we along with your workflows, we've also seen a lot of workflows in other areas. And we can offer advice around that too, right? Like it's like, hey, this a little bit, this may improve where you didn't see that, to your point of the forest through the trees. It's kind of like it's a little therapeutic and a little, advice of, hey, this might work a little bit better for you. And it's not a heavy lift, right?
Right.
We kind of give you that, I guess, extra confidence that if you think it's, you might think it's heavy, but it's something that we can actually do. And I like that second bullet, don't be disruptive, right? We want to help our partners and not make it harder, right? Not make it harder for people. It's some people come in and want to overcomplicate over tech and over this and over that and give you a vision, a year down the road. It's like, no, I've got this problem. It's very simple. It shouldn't be a $50,000 problem, right? Can you give me something that I just need to fix very quickly? And do that. I'm throwing numbers out, but hey. And then, I think that all kind of folds down to, listening and being able to pivot as you think of things, right? Like, hey, this would be great to do. This would be great to do. And, as you move along, it's start with a quick win and then, get that journey going if you need to, with other projects. So again, I think that's, again, a good dovetail into here of, yeah, what do you guys, now that you see this world a little bit in a positive way, that things can be easy, what are some of the areas that you're thinking of growing, Ashley, from a...
So I have so many ideas. They're just everywhere. One of the things that I really would love to do is I want to take the same API that we've implemented for my team and I want to implement it for our accounting team. But there are some limitations there that we're trying to work around internally. But I see the benefit for my team and I want to share that with others. So for that, but so many other things that this was kind of an unintended consequence, I guess. As we implemented this, my project manager started coming to me and saying, hey, I see that we're doing this over here. Could we maybe implement that over here? And so it's made me kind of look at all of our procedures and go, okay, well, yeah, we can take some technology and we can make this easier so that you're not having to, again, swivel chair this information. We can, put that to work over here. It's really helping everyone, I think, in our organization take a better look at how we work and how we could work better.
Yeah, perfect. No, I mean, we have a lot of great conversations over coffee and things like that about just now that there's kind of connections, there's probably going to be better insights. And, you have the confidence too, if you do bring on another customer, a big customer, right? Which you guys are growing, which is fantastic.
Great.
That if you do have another system that comes in, you can onboard that, right? Like it's on a platform. So there's kind of some confidence there around, we talked about this of, hey, if another system besides Corrigo comes, we need to support it. Boom. I know how the workflows work, right? I know what data I want to see. should be a quick, easy lift and not have to hire another admin or another person to do that. And, kind of growth in the business side of things. And
Yeah.
we've talked about other technologies, I think AI and other things that can maybe help improve reporting and data. So I think I like the collaboration aspect. Again, we're a services company. So not just this connector platform, but talking about how, with little or no cost, we can help improve other areas together, right? Like we're partners, if you will, to kind of have those conversations. And I think that's important, right?
Yeah.
We love software providers. They offer tools that we all need, but there is kind of another aspect, I think, within the industry where it's good to have kind of a partner that kind of looks at all sorts of systems that you're running today. So,
Right.
and I love talking about that and what areas that we can help improve and those kinds of things. So, yeah, I think, Ted, this is the conclusion of our conversation. I thought it was a really good conversation, and definitely open to any questions the teams may have. Yeah. Or the audience may have.
Everybody's being really quiet. I think they were just blown away. You told them everything. You did a great It took less than a month. It wasn't expensive, and it provided great ROI and helped with efficiencies.
Cool.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. As I said, we will send a copy of the recording out along with a copy of the deck. Ashley, Gabe, you did a great job with this case study. We're definitely going to share it with the IT community membership and following over the next week or so.
Great.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Ted, for hosting us. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Love
you.
getting the word out to people, and it's definitely good to have these topical conversations. So appreciate it.
Awesome.